Glenwood Canyon, Colorado. Rock walls towering over 1,500 feet. The Colorado River coursing along the canyon floor. 1.5 million destination visitors every year. The canyon is home to a stretch of federal highway, I-70, the vital passageway that connects Denver to the west, with over 7 million vehicles passing through annually. However, in 2015, cell phone reception is non-existent within the canyon walls, which is inconvenient and even dangerous for the millions of visitors. This is the story of the canyon, the highway, and the new state-of-the-art communication system that's finally being built in Glenwood Canyon. The canyon has a storied past, dating back millions of years. The rock walls contain natural hot springs, which the Ute Indians believed held great healing powers. The first European settlers who came to the canyon dynamited the walls to build a railway and road, bringing tourism to the area. This one-lane road, built around 1900, was not safe, with dozens of fatal accidents each year. As tourism in Glenwood Springs grew and conservationists like President Theodore Roosevelt returned annually, there was a pressing need for a safer, more environmentally conscious solution. Our story begins in the late 1950s, during the height of the conservation movement. Around this time, Colorado, along with the rest of the United States, began to build the interstate highway system. In Glenwood Springs, this was highly contested. Environmental activists and concerned citizens protested the proposal of I-70 running through the canyon, putting a halt to construction and leaving a void in the Colorado highway system. As a result, the Colorado General Assembly created the Citizens Advisory Committee that developed a plan for the construction of the road focused on environmentalism and aesthetic beauty.
The state legislature said we would like to have a highway designed so that the wonders of engineering and the wonders of nature will be combined into a beautiful highway.
This was the last piece of federal highway constructed in Colorado and is considered the crown jewel of the entire federal highway system. Incredibly, this final 12.5-mile stretch of canyon highway cost double what the other 470 miles of Colorado I-70 cost. Over the next 3 decades, a design was developed that would cause minimal impact to the beauty and ecosystem of the canyon. The road followed the natural flow of the river and was positioned to minimize blasting of canyon walls. Sections were even shifted a foot or two to save native trees and bushes. No expense was spared. Unlike traditional highways, which are economical and efficient, Glenwood Canyon needed new and expensive techniques that had never been used in the U.S. before, such as extending the westbound lane over the eastbound lane to minimize environmental impact and to better fit in the narrow canyon. Ultimately, through the 12.5 miles of I-70 that run through Glenwood Canyon, 150,000 new trees and shrubs were planted. 4 full-service rest areas were built to provide access to trails and the Colorado River, with a final price tag of $490 million. The canyon attracts millions to adventure inside. Whether cruising down the bike path, navigating the treacherous white water, climbing the towering rock walls, or hiking to pristine mountain lakes, it's clear to all that visit that Glenwood Canyon is a treasured and unique destination. Hanging Lake, Grizzly Creek, No Name, and Bear Ranch rest areas house tens of thousands of visitors on a daily basis. The Hanging Lake area, a national natural landmark, is the most popular spot, having to turn away hundreds of cars daily. Grizzly Creek is known for its whitewater rafting. No Name has a full-service year-round resort and campground. And Bear Ranch has a world-renowned adventure destination. Today, the canyon is one of the most active travel corridors and tourist destinations in the United States, with visitors increasing at a double-digit annual growth rate. Although great for the local economy, this causes extreme stress on transportation and emergency infrastructures. Road accidents can cripple or paralyze the Colorado economy, stopping interstate travel for hours, days, or even weeks. The only ways around the canyon are secondary routes that cause significant detours.
Drivers going through Glenwood Canyon were forced to find an alternate route after a rock slide closed a portion of Interstate 70 for several hours.
Although I-70 has greatly reduced traffic incidents compared to the original one-lane road, there are still a reported 500 incidents a year in Glenwood Canyon. Many of these accidents and emergencies require the response of government agencies and emergency first responders.
3 people are dead after a car collides with a semi-truck on I-70 this morning.
Trooper Eugene Hofecker was shot 3 times May 8th in Glenwood Canyon along I-70.
Yet, in 2015, there are no functioning private wireless communications networks within the canyon. Wireless communication is difficult or impossible. In this day and age of global coverage, Glenwood Canyon remains one of the few vital dark voids in today's global and ubiquitous wireless communication networks. The 7 million plus travelers and 1.5 million destination visitors find themselves staring at the dreaded no service display, unable to share videos or pictures of their incredible canyon adventures. More importantly, emergencies become all the more dangerous when 911 is unavailable in most places in the canyon. This problem needs to be solved. Glenwood Canyon has always been a target area for communications coverage, but no one has been successful in building a wireless infrastructure until now. 2 creative and resourceful developers, MMatthews and Stephen Kotfila of Canyon Summits LLC, have designed a network that both enhances canyon beauty and improves its functionality. The wireless infrastructure developed by Canyon Summits takes pre-existing CDOT buildings and incorporates them into eco-friendly, multifunctional, multi-purpose communication shelters, which are aesthetically designed and earth-burned. The buildings are reinforced concrete, fiber-fed, with a shared backup generator at each location, and are connected to towers located in already disturbed spots at the 4 rest areas.
This is a typical cell communication tenant space. You can see the 4 conduits that are distributed to this room. That's where the coaxial cable will come through. Depending on who the cell carrier is, kind of has their flexibility of how they lay out their radio equipment.
Additional infill sites, if needed, have also been approved based on architecturally appropriate locations and designs. In the same way that I-70 was constructed with extreme attention to the natural landscape, Canyon Summits has maintained that commitment, with all sites being built with minimal environmental impact.
The Forest Service was very thorough in everything that they wanted done on the site. So basically there was no stone left unturned because the Forest Service made sure that we put them all right back where they were supposed to be.
The Forest Service was ecstatic in the end and said that this is one of the best cell sites constructed in the country.
The construction process was very environmentally sensitive. Everyone involved in this seemed to have the same goal of achieving a final product that met our expectations of blending in as well as possible.
The best-of-class RF engineering consulting firm ATEX has completed drive testing and RF analysis and has concurred that the planned 4 rest area macro sites get the best possible coverage throughout the entire length of the canyon by utilizing the 1,500-foot canyon walls.
There's a lot of difficulty in covering this canyon from so many dimensions that a lot of the carriers chose not to build it because of cost and because of zoning issues and because of dealing with the national forest. So that's where we came in and said, hey, we're going to build this out, and kept pushing and pushing, and slowly progress was made to where we had the design done and we had a couple sites built in the Hanging Lake area, and that from there is just going to grow out this coverage footprint. So.
U.S. Forest Service has stated that it will not approve other networks or applications above and beyond the Canyon Summits plan.
We're not going to allow any other communication sites. Everything has to go into these 4 sites.
With the support of the major wireless carriers and emergency responders, the canyon will soon witness the completion of its first end-to-end communication system. It will be a monumental and historic accomplishment for the crown jewel of the National Federal Highway System and will allow millions to enjoy the canyon safely in the wireless era.